Hello everybody, it is Titanic Project MC, and I am back for the first update video in well over a year. It's been a hot minute since the last update video, but hopefully, in that time, we've had a decent bit of progress, so it's worth showing off what we've done. Um, Things like that, like long periods of silence like that, just are kind of, it's the nature of the project, how big it is, how much research goes into it, and of course building the actual thing itself. It takes quite a long time for me to even feel like it's worth making an update video. Nonetheless, though, hopefully we've done enough within that year's period of silence, and I hope you guys enjoy the video. Before we continue on, I want to note that there may be like a few like weird cuts in the video, weird skips. It happened in previous videos too. I don't know why. It's just like PlayStation's recording software. Since I am on PlayStation, like it just has random points where it cuts out a bit of the clip. So if you see those, I apologize. I can't do anything about them. But hopefully they shouldn't interfere with the commentary too much. Nonetheless, though, hope you guys enjoy, and let's just hop into it. Alright, so I'll try to make everything as brief as I possibly can. This video is going to be quite lengthy. Don't know how long it is yet, but I'm sure looking at the timestamp it's kind of intimidating. So if you make it all the way to the end, congrats, but I won't blame you if you don't. Nonetheless, though, we have some night vision on here, so we're going to kind of briefly go over the hull. You guys have already seen the bow, but you can see that we've started the plating. So we have the shear strakes here. I kind of messed up in the fact that I made the... It's hard to notice, but Titanic's decks didn't all shear the same. C deck sheared less than the rest of the decks, because you can see D deck is about like 10 feet 6 inches in the middle center ship, but when you get to the bow, it's about like 9 feet. So all the decks below C deck shear more than C deck itself. All my decks though shear the same. And when I was trying to add portholes, I realized that because I was having trouble with the portholes aligning up towards here over the bow. So I have to fix that, unfortunately. It shouldn't be too hard. Nonetheless, though, it's just kind of unfortunate. A little bit of an inconvenience. Moving over here, though, you can see that we do have all of the superstructure plating in. Keep in mind that this is just the ironwork. Anything that's kind of seen on the iron plans or riveting plans, that's all that is here so far. We don't have things like the coaling outriggers, the sounding spar, we don't have the leadsman's platform, all those like miscellaneous details that aren't really a part of the actual structure of the ship, we do not have in yet. These shear strakes right here, so these are these kind of thick plates right here called shear strakes. In real life, they did overlap like this, but it was only by an inch. These plates were only an inch thick, but this is kind of one of those things where I take a creative liberty to kind of, I don't differentiate my ship from others. I think of building ships in Minecraft or build styles as almost like an art style. So I made them thick like this, knowing that it is maybe a little inaccurate, but I also kind of want to represent that these were extra thick plates. So if you guys like it, if you guys don't, let me know in the comments, because I do want to see people's opinions on that, so I can maybe consider changing it. Moving back here, though, you can see that after 3 years of working on this project, we now have a stern. It is incredible. It's actually a rather big milestone for the project because I've been building Titanics for 10 years, and I don't think I've ever fully finished a hull, which is crazy. I've always just kind of procrastinated on building the draft and stern. But you can see we have it finished here, and I am pretty happy with how it turned out. I built the stern actually in like summer of 2022, so some people may have seen that, but I just built the draft recently. And like I said, I'm pretty content with how it looks so far. This is definitely probably going to be the final product. Had a little trouble with some spots, like right here. This area is a little tricky, where it kind of goes from all the blocks being really butted up close to each other to the stern post of being like flat like this. It was a little difficult to do, but in the long run, this is the best it's going to get, and it is still very accurate in terms of the shape. So we will now move up to the decks and show some of the details that have been added. Alright, so starting up here at the forecastle, you guys have already seen this a million times. Only thing that's changed is I've changed all the equipment back to black. It was unpainted in the last update video, and I kind of realized that was a little bit of a dumb theory, so everything's back to black. Changed the sides of these fair leads right here. I made them bigger, as well as the vent. I underscaled a lot of things when I initially built all these details 3 years ago because I was, just getting a grasp of how big this is, transitioning from my old 2-to-1s. So had a little bit of trouble with scaling initially, but now that I got it all figured out, I'm going back and revising a lot of things. Down here on the well deck, this bracket was added. This is added based off of new rec footage where it goes rather close to this, and you can see that there's like a valve of some sort in the top, and this bracket is a lot bigger than initially thought. I didn't notice it. I don't know who did. Maybe it was Vasily Ristovic, maybe it was somebody else. Somebody else around, like in that group noticed it. This waterway down here, this was discovered by Matt Cantala. Most GA planes for Olympic kind of represent there being a waterway right here. It is a little debatable whether it existed or not. It doesn't really look like iron planes show it when other iron planes, or when other waterways on the ship are represented on the iron planes. So it's really up to your own jurisdiction. Nonetheless, it's a small detail. So moving here to B deck, nothing has changed, so we'll move up here to A deck. A lot has been added on the A deck, so we'll fly to the port side, and you can see that we have the entire promenade built and fully detailed. It took quite a bit, but it was fun to build. I love the promenade. It's kind of an area of the ship that feels alive, and you'll see later. I'll probably explain. Like I stress the ship feeling alive, especially in Minecraft, because it's kind of, I don't know, exploring Titanic and it just being kind of like an empty ghost ship it's not boring, but it's depressing to an extent. So my goal for the project is going to make it feel alive when you're walking around, and make the ship feel like it's it is moving and it is being used. So with that being said, the promenade is one of the areas where it's very lively. It took a long time to build though, because you can see each deck chair has the proper plaque, the proper number, and I had to pattern some of them out even. So you can see, like, right here's a good example. It had to go like 1, 2, 1, 1, 1 to be able to fit in all the deck chairs, because the deck chairs didn't have a foot space in them, between them in real life. So it took a long time to build the deck chairs, about 4 hours, and that's just for one side. I have to build the entire other side over here too. So that being said, it took around like 8 hours just on the deck chairs alone. So that shows you kind of the level of I guess dedication we're trying to put into this. Other things that were also difficult to research were definitely the scupper pipes. You can base it off of plans a bit, but you also have to cross-reference the plans with photographs and things like that. So building all these fire mains and scupper pipes it was quite tedious, but I'm pretty sure they're all in the accurate position now. So you'll be able to explore this with confidence that you're looking at the correct layout. Back here on the aft portion of the A deck promenade, nothing really too special to say. These cranes, you can see I do not have these built, at least the crane arms. I'm going to update all the crane jibs around the ship, which the crane jib is basically just this big control area right here. This is also one of the things I built a long time ago on the ship, and I don't like the details I have for them, so I'm going to change that and make them more detailed. So I just didn't fully build them right here, because it'd be a little counterintuitive to build them, just to have to delete them, then build them again. So those are not there. But aside from that, everything should be good to go up there. Right here, this is the second class open promenade here on B deck, and another area that's, it's almost the same as the A deck promenade up there, so I'm not going to say too much. This is a crane post just to support the crane right here. You can also see that it is there's another one right here, and I'm sure there's some crane posts under these ones on the well deck. Don't mind this diamond block. There's a scupper under these limber boards, so I was just trying to make sure I remember that when I was building this interior enclosed promenade right here, I wanted to make sure I remember the pipe to go down, so don't mind that right now. That's just kind of for my own reference. Aside from that though, that's kind of really all that needs to be said about this area. Noah built this staircase right here, although oh, did he fix it? No, he didn't fix it. Yeah, I messed up this staircase because I flipped the entire well deck, and I messed up his staircase right here, but it seems like he sort of fixed it. But yeah, he built this. It looks very nice. Here on the well deck, I do have to update these bollards right here to be black because they're unpainted right now. You can see we have the sponsons. I believe these were to hold basically the rudder in place when it's docked. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's the purpose. This is a little water fountain. These are scattered all around the ship. And leading into here, this is the third class stairwell. Pretty basic, not much to say, but there's a few interesting things. You got the electric controls for the electric winches, this one and that one right there. So these are just the controls for them. They were covered. This is a postal box, so same thing you see in the lounge for first class. This is the equivalent for third class right here, just at here in the staircase. You see we don't have the general rooms or anything built, but those will be built eventually, of course. That should be really it for C deck. So moving up here to the poop deck. Poop deck wasn't too difficult to build, but what really took a long time was the docking bridge. So this is the most difficult part about the poop deck, and it was mainly just the research too. It wasn't actually building it. A lot of different plans say a lot of different things and represent it, draw it differently. The original Iron plans, Bob Reed's plans, the plans found in TTSM, they all show something different. So it was really difficult to kind of try to cross-reference things. In the long run, I mainly based it off of the original Iron plans. So it should be accurate. All the stanchions are in the correct position, all that. Only thing that's kind of up for debate are these lamps right here, but I based these off of some plan that my friend sent me. I don't really recall which one, but for right now, that's how everything looks. Up here on the docking bridge as well, you have a few interesting things. This wheel looks really stupid, I know, but it was covered with the canvas since it wasn't really used all too much, so showing it to Minecraft makes it look kind of stupid, but nonetheless, that's just the best you're gonna get. There should also be a post, right? I forgot to add the post right here under the wheel, because this is just the telemotor. I forgot the post itself. Not telemotor, I forget what that's called. Nonetheless, though, this is what's called a buzzer. This is just kind of for the phone right here, so I believe it's basically like indicating if this thing was ringing type deal. This is a flag mast, so same thing right there. This right here, this was fun to research. This is the Neptune ship log, and I'll try to briefly go over it. But this rope hanging down, basically the purpose of that ship log is to track the distance the ship has traveled. So the quartermaster would check the dial every 2 hours. There'd be, it would be in increments of 100, so you'd be able to see how far the ship has traveled. How it worked was you had this rope that was just hanging down here in the water, and there'd be a little turbine attached to the end. So when the turbine was dragged through the water, it would spin, which would in turn spin this rope. And when this spun, it would be attached to a gear. The gear would be attached to other gears, which were attached to the dial. So it would spin, and you could see how far the ship has traveled since last checked. So that's a neat little thing. I've never seen it actually been represented. I've never seen it deployed like this. It may be on the port side, because I know Quartermaster Rowe noted that at the time of the sinking was on the port side. So, but in other photographs of Titanic in Southampton, you can see the Neptune ship log is on the starboard side. So maybe it was on the port side. Definitely at the time of like the iceberg collision, it was on the port side. But for right now, I have it on the starboard. Enough rambling about that, though. We don't have the Union Jack built because even at this scale, it is really difficult to build a good design for this stupid thing. So we just have an empty hanging flag right here. And aside from that, that should be it for a poop deck. So we're going to move up to the boat deck, and then after that, we can head on to some interior. So boat deck was for the most part complete last video. Only thing that need to be added, I don't know if, yeah, only things that need to be added, the lifeboats right here were not present. So I have all these lifeboats built. I'm going to try to figure out a way to swing them out, because these lifeboats were swung out basically permanently so second class can have more space. So I'm going to have to figure out a way to make these swung out a bit without these davits looking really dumb. So that's going to be a little tricky, but I'll figure it out. These pipes, I don't think these pipes were built last update video. They might have been, I don't know. Nonetheless, they're here. The vents around the ship are going to be updated. I'm just going to add more details. Kyle did a pretty good job with them. I just want to add some details, but they're all accurate size, and they're all facing the correct way. They look right. I just want to add some details. That really should be it for boat deck, though. I don't think there's anything else on the exterior. So basically what's left is shell plating, rigging, some weathering, revision of a lot of details, and the exterior will be called done. That being said, though, let's head on into the interior. Alright, so we are going to start here on the bridge, per the usual. So you can see a few things have changed. We have some oil lamp lockers here. These are based off of what Olympic had. Of course, Titanic's wheelhouse was different than Olympic, so really this is just kind of a guess, like with these locker placements and the size and all that, but it's an inference, so it's my educated guess. Olympic, I think, had around 18 oil lamps. I think that's about how many she could fit, how many slots she had, so I have kind of 3 lockers to be able to match how many she had. It's debatable whether they were here or not, but I have them here for right now. Chart room has changed. I think it's changed since last update. I just kind of made my own layout. This is kind of a debatable room in of itself as well, so it was fun to build though. I like rooms like this that are kind of a hot topic for debate on the layout. They're fun to kind of make my own judgment calls on. Right here, I got to update the navigation room. And as for everything else in the officers' quarters, there's not really anything else to go over. So we're going to move on. Over here on the grand staircase, nothing has changed aside from the rugs. I just added a rug up here because I forgot them last time. Gymnasium. Last time the paneling was built. And now, as you can see, it's finished with all the equipment. I'm sure some people may remember, I had a time-lapse video of me building the gymnasium around over 2 years ago, and it said part 1 and I never quite uploaded part 2, but I did remember to actually record it. So I have the footage of me recording all the equipment, the footage of me building all the equipment recorded, my bad. Have that recorded. I just got to put it in a time lapse and upload it, slap some music. Really easy video to make. I don't know why I haven't uploaded yet, but I promise soon enough. I do have to upload the update the paneling because the data is too high, which actually I have to lower all the windows on the outside of the grand staircase, unfortunately, which means I'm gonna have to change the grand staircase paneling in here as well. So it's gonna be kind of a process. I have to lower every grand staircase window of this design on the entire ship, including these. So it's gonna be fun. I don't know why I built them too high in the first place, but yeah. Anyways, moving down here to ADEC. This landing of the grand staircase was built, so I'm not going to really go over anything. Over here in the hallway, or corridors, forward accommodation, you can see that we have a blue runner, which is unique to my Titanic. I want to say that, having a runner isn't unique to my Titanic, but I think I'm probably the only one who has it blue. The reason I have it blue is because I believe it's one of the big 4. There's a postcard of their lounge, and you can see that the Celtics lounge had a linoleum floor, and there was a blue runner on top of it. So it's the only reference I have for Harlan Wolf's ship. Like, basically the only reference I have of the color of a runner on the Harlan Wolf ship. So if I have nothing else to go based off of, I just slap that in here. So that's what I have for right now. These curtains, I don't quite know if they existed. I only have them here because recently it's been generally accepted that they were here, but I've never seen the evidence for myself, if I'm going to be honest. So, I'll look into that, and they may stay here, they may not. Nonetheless, it's a small detail anyways. You see we have all the cabins built. Most people view these cabins as really meticulous and tedious to build, which I can completely understand. They were a bit extraneous, but at the same time, I really love researching them. Researching the carpets and mainly just everything to do with the colors. It's a fun process trying to piece together everything. Like you have to, it's like scavenging from a ton of different sources to trying to figure out just kind of Harlan Wolf's rules when it came to which carpets go where and which materials go where. So it's a fun process in my opinion. Right here you can see that this is a pantry. I have to update the sink because I didn't have a photo reference for what the sink would look like, so I will update that. This is a service locker. These trapdoors represent deal form planking, which is basically just loose planking over a deck. I did this because I want you to be able to see what's below it, because you can see there's concrete below this, and other spaces there would be a little silo below it. So I want you to be able to tell like what's below the blanking. This is a scupper. You got a fire axe, water bib. You got a vent right here, which leads. You can see actually makes sense. It goes into this. I think this is a hot air trunk right here. Nonetheless, though, you can see kind of how everything on the ship will make sense in the long run. It'll all come together, and you'll be able to follow things like trunks and piping. So that should be a lot of fun. Moving back, though, we are gonna briefly cover some of the public spaces you guys have already seen. So right here, the reading writing room, nothing's changed except I fiddled around with these candelabras a bit. Had this fun little mushroom design, which would be so cool if they were the right color. They're a little too red, so that's unfortunate. I'm probably just gonna go back to glass or make a custom texture when I get a PC and I'm on Java. Moving here though, you can see the lounge. Noah built this, so last update video all the paneling was here. Most of the furniture was too, except the middle furniture, because I recorded the update video right after Christmas time and we smacked a big old Christmas tree in the middle. So all the furniture is here now though. Only thing that is kind of up for debate is the lounge carpet. I'm not sure if it would be this gold color, tan color. I'm not really sure. It may be green. It may not be either. Actually, I don't think it wouldn't be any other color. It's either golden or green. So I have kind of this golden color because it's a, what was it in? It was in some kind of brochure for Olympic, I believe, that the lounge was described to be decorated in green and gold colors. And I have a postcard of Olympics Lounge where you can, it's a like really washed out postcard. It's kind of bad, but you can see nonetheless that the chairs and furniture are green. So I think that kind of leaves the floor to be golden. So I'm keeping the floor golden for right now, but I'll definitely do a little more research into it. Moving back though, we are moving into areas that were not built at all. So right here, the aft grand staircase, you can see is built here. Not too much to say about it. It's basic. The same as the forward grand staircase, basically. Furniture layout, I've seen a few different layouts for where people put their furniture. This layout is based off of Titanic's first class general arrangement plan. There may be couches and stuff in here based off of kind of Olympics 1933 general arrangement plan and 1928. Basically, Olympics layout when she received this these cabins, she had like couches and stuff right here. But I'm just going strictly based off of Titanic's first class GA at the moment. This is Thomas Andrews' cabin. No, this is Francis Brown, my bad. Francis Brown, Thomas Andrews' cabin. They're not built yet, but of course they will be. Right here, though, the smoking room. So I think this is going to be most people's favorite like room on the ship once it's finished. I cannot, okay, Noah's built this so far, and I cannot even explain how good it looks. He's really outdoing himself, and I wouldn't be able to do I would not have been able to come up with this. This looks outstanding, and I cannot wait to see the room when it's all pieced together, all the paneling's in. I think it'll look amazing, and as I said, I don't doubt that almost everyone who downloads the world is going to come in here, and it's probably going to be their favorite room on the ship. So I am really excited to see how that turns out. Back here in the Veranda Cafe, though, not built. I started to try to build it, but the problem is the paneling is a lot more difficult than I thought it would be. It's not. I thought it'd be a really easy room to build, and then when I realized that the paneling curved into the ceiling, it made things a lot more difficult. So that will get built one day, not anytime soon. So down here in the B-deck reception room, most people have seen this room before, so not much to say about it as well. I have red furniture because it's a brochure for Titanic, actually, an advertisement. Ignore the chicken. Kyle placed these over a year ago, and I'm still finding them around the ship. It's crazy. Nonetheless, though, there's an advertisement of Titanic having, what is it, crimson or velvet furniture? Basically, there was red furniture in here. We know for sure at least the cushions and settees were. The carpet color is not really known, but I made it green because I wanted to contrast the furniture, since Harlan Wolf typically didn't make the furniture cushions and floors the same colors, so the green also matches the greenery a bit, so I just made it green for right now. Back here you can see this is the corridor to the a la carte restaurant that we do not have built, as well as the Cafe Pergion, so I'm excited to build those. Those will be fun to do. Right here is the more lavish corridors leading to the period style suites. You can see, just like the forward accommodation, we have a blue runner right here. Also have the curtains. The ceiling is one thing I'd like to note. So I didn't discover this. I don't know if it was Robin who discovered it or not, but basically Robin / Coopercraft City, he told me about how the ceiling, it may have been flat because, as most people know, the curved part of the ceiling are water pipe covers. So we don't exactly know the purpose of those pipes, but it can be sort of assumed that they were water pipes that would run along, let's say, the sea deck corridor along the ceiling, and then they would branch out and they would service the wash basins and lavatories and things like that in these corridors, or in these cabins, my bad. So with that being said, since there are no wash basins or lavatories or anything of that sort here on A deck, there wouldn't be really any reason for there to be pipes running along the ceiling. So with that, in conclusion, the B deck corridor should have a flat ceiling. So that's a neat little thing. I also have to add other things like the what's it called, water bibs, and I also have to add the cabin plaques. Right here on the B deck landing of the grand staircase, this was also fun to build. I mean, it's just like the A deck kinda, but it has some deck plans. These are representing deck plans when you see these. They're a pretty good design for them. You got deck plans. It has 2 notice boards, which is unique to this landing as well, I believe. I guess I'll figure out once I build the other ones. And this is the B deck entrance. So this is where a lot of first class would enter. Well, here on the other side, rather. These doors, of course, lead to the private promenade, which will be built in the final map download. And that's, yeah, really it for this area. I think the last spot on the interior to show off is the sea deck landing, which I should have shown off before I flew all the way forward, but nonetheless. So we're going to come down here, take what you see with a grain of salt, okay? I had this theory that the corridor paneling would kind of run through the grand staircase like this. I had it going on for about 3 days. And within that 3 days, I was so excited about it that I built the this landing of the grand staircase. Just to realize that it was... okay, I wouldn't say it was exactly stupid, but it's definitely not correct according to the auction catalog. But I thought it was a fun idea, but unfortunately, it's definitely not accurate. I had my reasons at the time. There are other instances of kind of the corridor running through a landing like this on the ship, and being kind of separated by the girder. There are other instances of this on Titanic, but unfortunately, it's not the case for Sea Deck. But would have been fun, but I'll update it soon. Aside from that, though, that should be all of the interior. Alright, so if you've made it this far in the video, then I commend you, because I don't doubt that it's been at least like 30 minutes. It's definitely well over 30 minutes. I tried to trim it as much as I possibly could, but I like to ramble about things a bit, if you couldn't notice. So, you're insane if you made it this far, but I do appreciate it. And especially if you're watching, like, after... If you've been here since even the last update video, I appreciate you a lot, because if you're still keeping up with me after like over a year of silence like this, then I couldn't thank you enough. I really hope to get a map download out for you guys here within the next few months. As I said before, I don't know if I mentioned it, but all that's really left is the shell plating. I have to do all the miscellaneous details around the shell, revise some deck details, do the rigging. And then after that, it's about making it a diorama and then just putting the map up for you guys. So hopefully, it shouldn't be too long until you guys will be able to explore the exterior and everything we have on the interior so far for yourselves. But this video has dragged on enough. I appreciate you guys watching, and I hope that you guys have a great rest of your day. Take care.